Caribbean Sea, 70 miles north of Venezuela, 11:42 a.m., clear skies. USCGC Stone, U.S. Coast Guard cutter, 29 crew members, conducting counter-narcotics patrol, legal international waters. Then, Venezuelan Navy frigate Almirante Brion appeared. Venezuelan commander radioed, "American vessel, you are in our waters. Stop engines immediately, or we will fire." Coast Guard captain, "Negative. We are in international waters. You have no authority here." At 11:44 a.m., the Venezuelan frigate opened fire. 76mm naval gun, shells impacting water around the stone. Direct attack on U.S. vessel. But Venezuela made 3 catastrophic mistakes. First, USS George H.W. Bush Carrier Strike Group was 80 miles away. Second, attacking U.S. Coast Guard means immediate Navy response. Third, firing on American ship means destruction of attacking vessel plus every Venezuelan naval base within range. 37 minutes, Venezuelan frigate sunk, 4 patrol boats destroyed, 2 naval bases obliterated, Venezuela's Navy eliminated. This is that story. USCGC Stone, Legend-class cutter, 418 feet long, advanced sensors, 57mm gun, designed for law enforcement and defense. At 9 a.m., Stone departed Curaçao on counter-drug patrol. Mission: intercept cocaine trafficking from South America. Stop shipments before reaching U.S. waters. Caribbean drug routes smuggle 15 tons of cocaine monthly. Coast Guard interdicts these shipments, saves American lives, disrupts cartels. At 11:15 a.m., Stone was 70 miles north of Venezuelan coast, international waters. Radar detected suspicious vessel, possible drug runner. Captain Jennifer Hayes ordered intercept. All hands prepare for boarding operation, suspected narcotics vessel ahead. But Venezuelan Navy radar was also tracking the Stone. Maduro regime views U.S. Coast Guard as a threat, claims all Caribbean waters as Venezuelan territory. At 11:30 a.m., Venezuelan frigate Almirante Brion received orders from Caracas. American Coast Guard vessel operating near our waters. Intercept, force them to leave, use weapons if necessary. Almirante Brion, 3,200 tons, 76mm main gun, anti-ship missiles, crew of 180, Venezuela's most capable warship. At 11:38 a.m., Venezuelan frigate approached Stone at high speed, aggressive course, combat stations manned. At 11:40 a.m., Venezuelan commander radioed Stone on emergency frequency. U.S. Coast Guard vessel, you are operating in Venezuelan economic zone without authorization. Stop engines, prepare for inspection. Captain Hayes, negative. We are in international waters conducting lawful counter-narcotics operations. You have no jurisdiction. Recommend you alter course. Venezuelan commander, this is final warning. Stop now or face military action. At 11:42 a.m., Venezuelan frigate turned broadside, 76mm gun elevated, targeting the Stone. Captain Hayes activated emergency beacon. Mayday, Mayday. USCGC Stone under threat from Venezuelan warship. Weapons aimed at us. Request immediate assistance. At 11:44 a.m., Almirante Brion opened fire. Boom, boom, boom. 3 76mm shells. 2 splashed 50 yards from Stone's bow. 1 struck water 20 yards from stern. Warning shots, but direct attack on U.S. vessel. Stone's crew hit deck, alarms screaming, no armor, no heavy weapons, defenseless against frigate. Captain Hayes radioed Venezuelan frigate, "Cease fire, you are attacking United States vessel, this is act of war." Venezuelan commander, Leave our waters now or next rounds hit your ship. At 11:45 a.m., Venezuelan frigate fired again. 4 more shells, closer. One passed directly over Stone's bridge. Sonic crack. Crew terrified. Captain Hayes to crew. All hands brace for impact. Damage control teams ready. We cannot return fire effectively. But 80 miles away, USS George H.W. Bush had received Stone's mayday. At 11:46 a.m., Admiral Marcus Reynolds authorized immediate response. Venezuelan warship has fired on U.S. Coast Guard vessel. Launch strike package. Destroy that frigate. Destroy Venezuelan naval capability. Weapons free. 11:46 a.m. USS George H.W. Bush launched combat response. 4 FA-18E Super Hornets, already on combat air patrol, received targeting data. Strike flight, Venezuelan frigate firing on U.S. CGC Stone. You are weapons free. Sink that vessel. Engage immediately. Copy, weapons free. Strike Master has contact. 12 miles. Targeting. At 11:48 a.m., 4 FA-18s fired 8 AGM-84 Harpoon anti-ship missiles. Sea skimming, active radar homing, Mach 0.85, lethal. Venezuelan frigate detected missile launch. Radar warning, beep, beep, beep. Defensive systems activated. Chaff launching, attempting evasion. Too late. At 11:50 a.m., 8 Harpoon missiles struck Almirante Brion. First missile hit forward gun mount. Explosion. Gun destroyed. Second and third missiles struck midship. Hull breached. Fire spreading. Fourth missile hit engine room. Catastrophic damage. Ship losing power. Fifth through eighth missiles. Complete overkill. Venezuelan frigate engulfed in flames, listing heavily, sinking rapidly. At 11:52 a.m., Almirante Brion capsized. 180 crew abandoning ship. Venezuelan Navy's flagship gone in 2 minutes. U.S. CGC Stone safe. Crew unharmed. 0 damage to American vessel. But U.S. Navy response continued. At 11:47 a.m., while Harpoons were inbound, carrier launched additional 12 FA-18s armed with precision bombs. Mission: destroy Venezuelan naval bases. At 11:50 a.m., USS Philippine Sea and USS Truxtun, Aegis destroyers, fired 48 Tomahawk cruise missiles targeting Venezuelan naval infrastructure. At 11:55 a.m., Venezuelan Naval Headquarters received panicked reports. Almirante Brion sunk, American fighters inbound, multiple missiles detected. Too late. At 11:58 a.m., 12 FA-18s reached Venezuelan coast, released 48 precision bombs. Targets: Puerto Cabello Naval Base and Punto Fijo Naval Base. Puerto Cabello, Venezuela's main naval facility, struck by 24 bombs. Main pier destroyed. 4 Venezuelan patrol boats docked, sunk at moorings. Fuel storage, massive explosion, black smoke rising. Operations center, collapsed, command staff casualties. Ammunition depot, chain reaction, secondary explosions. Punto Fijo Naval Station, hit with 24 bombs. Submarine pen, collapsed. Venezuelan submarine inside, crushed. Radar installations, obliterated. Air defense, destroyed. Maintenance facility, flattened. Repair capability, gone. At 12:04 p.m., 48 Tomahawk missiles struck Venezuelan military targets. Naval Command Center Caracas, 16 missiles. Building destroyed. Venezuelan Navy leadership casualties. Coastal radar sites, 12 missiles. Air defense network blind. Naval ammunition storage, 8 missiles. Massive explosions. Communications facilities, 12 missiles. Venezuelan Navy cannot coordinate. At 12:08 p.m., 2 MH-60R Seahawk helicopters from Bush launched. Mission: Rescue Venezuelan sailors from sunken frigate. Rescue 1 approaching survivors, preparing to extract. 53 Venezuelan sailors recovered from the water. Medical treatment aboard U.S. ships. Professional rescue even of enemies. At 12:19 p.m., 37 minutes after Venezuelan frigate first fired, mission complete. Venezuelan Navy assessment. Flagship frigate Almirante Brion sunk. 4 patrol boats destroyed at dock. 1 submarine crushed in collapsed pen. 2 naval bases heavily damaged. Command center destroyed. Estimated 327 Venezuelan casualties, 127 from frigate, 200 from base strikes. 53 sailors rescued by U.S. forces. U.S. casualties, 0. U.S. CGC Stone undamaged, all crew safe.
11:42 a.m. Venezuelan warship fires on U.S. Coast Guard cutter in international waters. 11:50 a.m. Venezuelan frigate sunk by Harpoon missiles. 12:19 p.m. 37 minutes total. Venezuelan Navy eliminated. 2 bases destroyed. Command center obliterated. 327 casualties. USC GC Stone safe. 29 crew unharmed. Mission continued. Venezuela attacked U.S. vessel. Lost their navy in 37 minutes. 53 Venezuelan sailors rescued by American forces, the same forces that destroyed their ship. This is American military doctrine. Defend our ships. Rescue all sailors, even enemies. Never fire on U.S. vessels, because 37 minutes later, your navy is gone, and we'll still rescue your survivors.